You know, Christmas time is one of the best times of the year, at least in our household. There's a lot of wonderful memories that I have, and I want to share them with you right here and right now as we enhance these photos of Christmas yesteryear. So let's get into this. Hi friends and family, this is Steve Klein with Images in Motion, bringing you the best tips, tools, and techniques on enhancing your family photos or videos so that you can preserve them for a lifetime of legacy. We use the latest cutting-edge technologies, including AI and Adobe Photoshop and others, so that you can enhance those photos and do it from the comfort of your own computer and laptop. So if you're interested in that, click on the subscribe button and also consider hitting the notification bell so that you're aware of every video we upload. We're in a series of enhancements for Christmas photos, and I have yet another one that I want to share with you, along with a great story coming up right here, right now. Hey, 'tis the season. It's that time of year again, Christmas time. And for this photo, I'm in the den now, of course, and I'm going to show you this photo right here. This is a continuation of that other photo that I shared earlier with about my mom and my sister and myself. This is the same photo. I believe this is around the era of, I think it's 1972. And check this out. It's got just sepia kind of going on. It's actually not too bad of a photo, but you got a lot of artifacts here. If I look and zoom in here into this photo, you can see the honeycomb shape here. You got kind of honeycomb shapes all the way through. This pattern we'll have to take out. Look at all of those little white, whatever they are. That does not look good. And over here is me holding what looks like a book, but it looks like a little school bus, little red school bus. But actually what it really is a LP record. I couldn't even remember. I had to look it up because, yeah, it's been that long. But it's called the In a Little Red Schoolhouse, and it's by Peter Pan Records, and it's a In a Little Red Schoolhouse and School Days by the Peter Pan Orchestra and Chorus. It's a 45. Anyway, so that was that. And then I have my Lionel train set right here, which my mom always said, you got to keep that, Stevie. It's going to be a classic one day. I don't know if that ever happened, but I guess people do collect them, right? I mean, do you guys collect trains, old trains, maybe? Well, anyway, let's get into this photo, but let me show you more about it. So in here, this says, there's a date here that says February of 73, but it's probably because they didn't develop it until a few months later after Christmas, but this is definitely December of 1972. So, and this is a really cool television in the background. I don't know if you can see it, but there's these little doors that come out and it would cover this screen, these wooden doors that were, they were kind of like I don't know, they were slatted. And so they would, cover, it was really cool. I can't really describe it, but anyway, I don't know what all of this other toys are, but anyway, let's get to this photo and let's restore it. So first we're going to bring it into the ImageJ, and then we're going to go through the process of doing that, cleaning up these honeycombs first. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm on my ImageJ here. We're going to bring it in. Well, actually, I already brought it in. So now I'm going to go up here to where it says process. And it's really weird. ImageJ it's only this little bar here. So when you open it up, you're going to go, okay, where did it go? It's right there. It's right there. See it? Right there. And you're going to go process FFT filter. That should bring up this spectrum. And remember, before we had to block out all of the little areas where we see little lights, little stars. So I'm going to make this bigger so we can see it. And then we're going to use this elliptic tool here. And what I'm going to do, Oops. I'm going to undo that. I want to make sure that I have the image color in. Okay, so another thing we want to do is we're going to select all of these areas, and I'm going to change the colors all at once, but I want to make sure that we select the color. So if you go to Edit, Options, and then under the Options, you would select Colors. And then right here where it says this little tiny window that pops up, make sure that this says black, because sometimes it'll default to white. So just select black. And by the way, I'll give you download instructions to ImageJ, and then so you can have it on your desktop. Maybe in the future you may not need it, but right now we do, to get these images to look as accurate and as good as the results that I'm showing you. You're going to need this right now, and then later on you might not need it. But anyway, so I'm going to select all of these things, and as I'm clicking, I'm left clicking and I'm dragging it, and it makes this little circle that matches this, right? I mean, if I zoom in, I'll show you what that looks like zoomed in. Yeah, like that. You can use the hand tool to move this around to see different areas. I'm going to use this ellipsis still, and I'm going to call. Now, notice how when I did that, it didn't keep it going. You have to hold your Shift key down to add more. So I'm going to say, I'm going to add the first one. And then I'm going to add the second one. Whoa, that's a little bit too big. And it's really weird because undo doesn't undo like you think it should undo. So that's just another thing to note. And there's one right there. There's one there, and there's one little one there. I'm not sure if that was one there. I'm gonna do it anyway, just in case. Because the last one I did, it ended up having some patterns at the very top. So I'm just going to be careful and make sure that I do as many of these as I can see. If I can see one, I'm going to. Now, by the way, what I'm doing is to move this, I'm scrolling with my scroll wheel on my mouse. And I'm trying to make these the same size as what I'm seeing here. Like if this was big, I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm not very precise. I'm just trying to be okay precise. Like just okay. And just now, and I'm showing you this whole process because I think it's important to just see how I'm going through this. Okay, so this is little. That's a little thing there, little thing there. Again, these might not be anything, but I'm not going to take a chance. Then up here, so again, I'm not going to get the center one. Always remember to hold your Shift key down as you're doing these, or else you're going to lose everything you just did, and that would be a pain. You'd have to do it all over again, which you could, but it's just, again, if you can save yourself some time. Did I get everything? Okay, I'm going to keep going over to the right here. Get these guys. Holding my Shift key, clicking and dragging, making these circles around the lights. Same with over here, this little guy, this little one over here, this one here, these guys too. Dragging with the little hand tool. I'm trying to find any artifacts that or any of those little stars that I missed. So now I'm going to zoom out. I think I can just hit the scroll wheel. Yeah. So I'm hitting my control key. I'm scrolling out. Look at that. Wow. We hit all of those. That's amazing. Okay. So now I'm going to click over here on Edit and Fill, or you can do Control F. Boom. Just like that. Okay. So now we've done that. And I think that now what we do is go over here and process and FFT, inverse FFT. So now let's take a look and see what that did to the photo. Notice how this tool just automatically said, oh, you want to see the photo now and see how that looked? Let's look. Actually, that looks pretty good. One of the things I forgot to mention here, and I don't know if it really it matters a little bit. This photo was not level. That's what I forgot to do. Darn it. I don't know if you noticed there's a slight angle. It's going this way, like this. We need to fix that. I can't process it. The better you can get a photo straight at the very beginning, the better the outcome is going to be. So I'm going to pause this. The next video, I'm not going to share this with you because it's going to take too much time. I'm going to have to redo all these dots again. And I don't know if you want to stick around for that, because I think this will be a lot better if I angle it straight first. And this might be a little anal, but I'm going to straighten it out. So, okay, so now we're in Photoshop again, and I'm going to select, I'm going to rotate the image, arbitrary, sure. Left the default. That actually that did pretty good. Okay, I just redid it all again and straightened out the photo, redid this, and now I'm going to fill that. So now I need to invert that. All right, so now we can look and see, yes, it looks like it reversed all of those. It removed all those honeycombs, maybe a faint little lines at the very edges, but I think we can work with that. So let's save this. Actually, I think it already saved it. So now we should have one that says inverse of, and we do. Okay. Okay, so now I redid this and I think I'm feeling better about it now. So we're going to go ahead and save this. I don't see the waffle patterns in there anymore, just our normal scratches and artifacts and lines that we're going to have to correct and fix. So I think we're good to go. So this is a really cute photo. So this is really, okay, so I want to save this as, I'm just going to save it as it is. It says TIFF, inverse FT TIFF. Yeah. Inverse FFT of, and then it shows the image name. So that's good. Okay, so we're save that. Now let's bring it into Photoshop and do some magic. All right, we're inside Photoshop now, and we're about to take a look at this photo. I think right off the bat, I want to crop it. So let's do this. We're going to crop it. See how that looks. Got a little bit of an edge over here. I'm trying to preserve that lamp. Isn't that like a classic lamp? Oh, I had that crop perfect, and then I just went ahead and blew it by doing an undo. Crop. Yes, that's better. Okay, so I'm going to keep that. Already down here, I see something that I want to fix. So I'm going to go ahead and make it bigger. And then I guess I should have, well, that's okay. We can correct it. I was going to say I should have cropped this bottom part out. I'm just going to use the healing tool to resurface this. And that looks pretty good. Okay, so now let's get into some of the little artifacts here. You know, it's funny that I look at this photo and it just reminds me of so many fun memories as a kid. And just, you know, we didn't have any cell phones or anything like that. So we had record players and we had each other and we had love. We didn't have these devices that we could get so distracted from our family with. And you know, Christmas to my mom was like everything. She spoiled us like you wouldn't believe. We didn't have much money growing up, but what we did have was a lot of love. I know that sounds cliche, but it's true. And look at this Lionel train set. That's like classic. That's classic. And like I said, my mom said, "Oh, you know, Stevie, that's going to be worth some money someday." And you know, kind of is, but it's kind of, I mean, it's not like hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it is pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if they even make toys like this. I mean, this was a toy. It was sold in a toy shop, probably a store. I don't think it was a hobby shop, but to get good quality products these days with like replica trains, it would be in a hobby shop. You wouldn't be able to get that in just a regular cheap old toy store, because now they're getting the stuff from just, you know, cheaply made. It depends on where you go, really. In fact, maybe you can leave in the comments. Let me know, is there anybody that's doing those quality trains these days? I'm not really sure if they are or not. So you got to tell me. Besides that, I think it helps my channel if you guys interact with me. So now I'm going over this TV. And like I said, these had these really cool, you can't really make it out here, but they have these sliding doors that just made, you could slide them closed, like open and close, and it would just close up the screen. It looked like a piece of furniture, like a cabinet. Very intricate wood. In fact, when we finally hauled this thing away, it felt like it was like 150 pounds. It's real wood and a real cathode ray tube, which is, they don't make them like that these days. Probably helps you so you can lift it without getting a hernia. So now I'm just clicking, trying to not get a headache because I'm trying to look at all of these little artifacts everywhere. And I should probably I'm trying to get as clean as I can so that the AI tool can take it from here. And I don't like what I just did with her hair, because you can take these artifacts out of hair, but you need to make it really tiny so you don't get the blurry effect on that. Yeah. Oh boy. Now I'm getting a little bit of lines here. I can see that's goes with the territory. Can't get really everything perfectly perfect. I mean, we're getting pretty close. We got rid of a lot of those waffly artifacts, but around the edge of the picture is where it usually gets. Now see right up here, this line, this little white thing. I'm trying to blend that in. I think that's a scratch in the photo. I don't believe it was there on the lamp. So there we go. That looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Okay, now we're at the top of the photo. Going over to the right, here's some more little white anomalies. And again, I'm just using the spot healer, going over these little items. And here in this little flowery pot, we got a lot of little white things here. And again, if this was natural, I'd leave them there, but I don't believe these are in the flower arrangement. So I'm moving them, removing them. And again, this is probably overkill for maybe something that you want to restore, but I'm trying to get it just as good as I can. And I'm not going to go too over the top here. I'm trying to make it so that you can see what kind of process I go through. And I might speed this up so you don't have to watch me do all of this. In fact, each time I do this, I might speed myself up. So anyway, if I stop talking and you see me going really quick, that's what it is. I'm speeding myself up. So there it is. I think that's turned out pretty well. After all of that work by hand, there's still a little bit of a speckles in my pants down there. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just gonna, this took quite a while to go through all that. So what I think I'm going to do now is, that could be just right now the way it is. It's, well, let's compare it. Let's compare with the other one. Okay, so as you can see, the one on the left is the one that was done before the original. And then the one on the right is the one that's enhanced. Look, we got rid of all that snow in my hair, the scratch on the TV there, all of the artifacts that were in there we removed. It looks really good. There might be a little bit of speckles in my pants, but I think we could take one step further and let's try to do the gigapixel AI enhancement again and see what that does for this this photo. All right, we're in gigapixel here, and I got it on the HQ for the high quality. And if I bring the slider over, you can see it's bringing back some detail in the background, but it's bringing more detail to our faces, which is what gigapixel is known for. Now, I'm going to leave it around 2 times the size because that gives us a dimension here of 4332 by 4338 pixels. I think that's okay. Let's look at some of the other side-by-side comparisons. So HQ's up on the upper left. This one will change to the Art CG. Standards on the lower left, and then the low resolutions on the lower right. We'll wait until those are finished updating. Now they're all updated. I still didn't get a lot of the white out of my hair. I thought I did, but look on the Art CG. You know, the Art CG, it almost looks like it's bringing back those, whatever remnant of that honeycomb, the honeycomb was. I noticed I can almost see it a little bit. It almost enhances these white pixels that were on the photograph. I don't want it to do that. I could also run it through the Neuro filter in Adobe, which could also maybe get rid of some of the snow in here, the little grain. But when you do that, you run the risk of losing some of the detail. Let me look at this again. I do have a little bit of a red eyes, and so does my sister, but I'm going to leave that in there for now, just because I don't know if the Adobe will be too artificial when it comes to the colorization of the eyes. I think overall the low res looks good, or the HQ. Let's look at them one at a time. So this is HQ. Well, actually that's Art CG. Let me see what the Art CG does. It does really clear up the line edge. Look at the box over on the right. It brings back those letters of the toys. Well, let's look at HQ. HQ, not so much. Low resolution. It brings back our face, nothing with the background. It's interesting. It's almost like the Art CG might be the best. So let me go back to Art CG. As long as it doesn't make our faces look too artificial. Yeah, see, it really, I can turn this face strength down. It's up at 55%. Let's turn it down to 25. You know, I like the way it brings back, but this is the one though that it's also bringing back the honeycomb shape in the background, and yeah. And it's also bringing back, see those speckles on my pants? It's really enhancing those. Now I could go to ArtCG and then remove those speckles on the ArtCG, and then we'd have definitely a really clear. Let me zoom in really close to this. Yeah, look at how good that makes that letters afterwards. Gee, that's incredible. All right, so let me see what it does to an HQ again. Each time I move it, it has to re-update it to that area. It's just give me a glimpse of that area. You know, overall though, okay, it's updating again, and it is done. Yeah, overall though, I like this. If I back it back out, I think this can handle it. Sometimes it can't handle it if it's a big, huge area to give you a preview. Oh, it did it though. So it did the whole picture. Let me see what this looks like with the slider. It says before and after. The background, you can almost tell there's nothing, almost like nothing's changing, but our faces, there's definitely a clarity there. A little bit of the book gets clear. Yeah, I don't know. I might do all of these just to see and compare. Let's do that right now. Okay, now I've got the picture back in Adobe Photoshop, and as you can tell, I was messing around with this ArtCG because I really did like the way this looked, except it did bring back some of the pixels, and I thought, what if I can bring it into the neural filter? And then I noticed the picture looks a little bit still like a sepia or like a haze to it, like an old-fashioned, and it still looks clearer, but I thought, well, what if I take the image and use the auto adjusters either by explicitly changing the exposure, or I thought, better yet, what if I just go and use this auto tone? Check this out. Boom. It already brings back the colors, but I still see a lot of these speckles here. If you really get in close, I mean, I can take the healing tool on that, a lot of these speckles. And so I went ahead and used the neuro filter, and that's the other layer I made over there already. And what I did was, as I was offline, I used this photo restoration. I did the adjustments with noise reduction and JPEG artifact reduction at around really low, like 10, and then over here about 10 or 15. I'm going to cancel this because I already did it. It takes a couple minutes to process. But what it turned out is, I'll show you the difference. So this is the before. No auto tone like I just showed you, because you saw when I did that, it looks like this, right? So it took it from this to this. Now that's not bad. It actually it took out some of that sepia right away. Look how clear and the colors are more true to what they are. And back here, this just is incredible, right? Look at that, or the pink in this card, or the purple. The pink in that paper angel back here, and then the red in that book. Everything is more vibrant. And the speckles that were in my pants and the ground here are actually reduced now. That's just, it's just incredible. So I can just clean it up a little bit more with the healing tool. And just a little bit of the artifacts that I want to just, clean up. I can do that at my own leisure. But overall, it's just really cleaned it up. The face is still a little bit like it has this little things on my face. I don't know how you can get rid of that. Maybe just what I'm doing. Oops, it doesn't look right. Some of those ridges on my nose from the photo. There's some ridges here on her dress. I mean, again, you'd have to look really close to get this the way it is, or These ridges, by the way, are part of the leftover remnants of that pattern, and for some reason it got on my face. I'd have to really reduce it small. And that's the only way you can get it out. because this is really particular to that problem with, I might be making it worse. The other one didn't have this problem, but I like the way the details are in this. Clean up these little white dots here. It's a little bit better. It's a little bit better, but not, and it didn't take, I don't think it changed my face that much, did it? Yeah, I'll change the nose a little bit. All right, well, here we are. This is the before and after. Before, on the left, you notice that we had all those graininess, and actually even this wasn't the original, because this was when we inversed it. It originally had those artifacts, remember? It had these. That's the actual original. This one here, it had those grainy sort of artifacts, those honeycomb shapes throughout the whole picture. We had to take that out. And then after that, after we got rid of those, we had to get all those artifacts out of it, and it had a lot of work to be done. So we changed that to look something like this. So after we got all those honeycomb shapes out of it, it looked a little bit better, but we had a lot of little artifacts here in the hair. They had some in my hair there, and also in the TV on the ground, little hair thing there. All of that had to be cleaned up. And then we end up taking it into something like, we cropped it, and then we ended up making it like this, where we enhanced the face. We removed all of the artifacts in there as much as we can. It still left a little bit on the jeans, but I mean, overall, compared to where it was, I think that's a really big improvement. Also, equalized the tone. We took the sepia out of it and brought the color back to life. There was a little bit less saturation in this orangish, brownish wicker basket that the light is. The overhead light here over the TV was discolored, so I brought that back. And overall, I'm really happy with this result. What do you think? Leave your comments in the comments section below. Love to hear them. Again, this is before and after. I say it's a big improvement. So did you like this video and this photo and this story that I shared? If so, leave a comment in the comment section and let me know about your story. Did it trigger any memory of your own? I'd love to hear about them, and maybe I just might use them in the next video. All right, well, this is Steve Klein. Until next time, remember to live life to the fullest and make sure you restore your photos to HD quality. We'll see you in the next video. Are you interested in learning another technique in enhancing an old Christmas family photo? If so, check this one out.